Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Destiny 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, we're dealing some arms. Let's get to it. The arms dealer is one of the Nightfall options for the week. And it will be in rotation, so you will see it again every couple of weeks if it is not the current one. Now I'm going to show the boss fight for it, because leading up to it you should at least be able to get to the boss fight, and if not, you may need to change your subclass, change the challenge card, or change the weapons that you're coming into the fight with. Now the strategy that we used that even if you're a lower light level you can still use, because this was quite low. I want to say 510 to 520, and recommended power is 540. Now when you go into this fight, what you can do is everyone have the same subclass. You can put that singe on, so arc singe, void singe, solar singe. And then once you get the guy down to about 5-6 of his health, you go in when everyone has their super and try to do as much damage as possible. And the idea here is to get him to skip one damage phase, if at all possible. Because normally when he gets down to about 2/3 health, he will go up to his tower, he'll put a shield up, call on a ship, and if you can skip that phase, he'll go up, put up a shield, but then jump right back down. Now, once that happens, you're going to go automatically to the next phase, which is the next damage phase. Because normally what you'll do is you'll do some damage, he'll go up in the tower, you clear out some of the ads, you clear out the ship, you get the ball, you go slam the ball. Usually whoever goes to slam the ball ends up dying because it's very difficult to stay alive. There's usually a group of Cabal that show up right next to and kind of patrol where you have to slam it. Now, if you are a lower light level, 520 or less, maybe even as high as 530, his sniper shot will kill you, whether it's a body shot or whether it's a headshot. So you will need to be careful. Now, one thing that Bungie has done differently between Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 is that the Nightfalls have no safe areas. It used to be that you could find one spot where everyone could go and they could kind of hide out there, get their health back, do some damage on the boss, and be safe, relatively safe, where maybe one person would go down because they were trying to get triple tap or something to that effect. But in Destiny 2, there's no permanent safe place. You have to keep moving around or moving around in the same area in order to maintain any sort of safety. And the big thing is finding the area that is relatively safe versus not safe at all. Now obviously in this one, being out in the open is a really bad idea, because the boss Cabal can snipe you without even looking at you. He's got that 360 no scope down pat. Now on this we did use Arc Singe and Grenadier. That way our grenades both did more damage because of the Singe, and they did more damage because of the modifier, and we got them back more often. Sometimes it seems like you can use heavyweight and then your power weapon will do more damage. The problem with that is that if you run out of heavy ammo, or if heavy ammo is not dropping for you, it could be a potential problem. Now, if you do enough damage for him to go to the tower, but you don't do enough damage for him to throw up the shield, then he's going to stand up in that tower and just snipe you mercilessly. So you do need to make sure that you're getting some damage on him when he's up in the tower before the shield goes up, so that he puts up that shield and then you are actually safe from his sniper shots, at least for a little bit. Now, of course, once that happens, he calls in a ship. The ship is going to rain down rockets on one of your fire team members. So what you're going to want to do is take out that ship, either by using your singe weapon or using a rocket launcher or grenade launcher or something to get it out of your hair, because the ship is just as damaging and difficult to deal with as a sniper. Now, including the boss, once you get to the third damage phase, I believe, you will have the scion snipers out. So not only will you have to look out for the boss, but you'll also have to look out for the scions as well. Now, even though you have access to the charge, you don't want to pick it up until you take care of that ship. Ship's going to be flying around. The ship is going to be, like I said, raining down rockets. Going to be relatively easy for it to take you out, even if you're not using solar singe. The rockets are solar damaged. They do have AoE splash damage. So it does make it a little bit of a difficult choice to make what singe you want, because the rockets have AoE and they are very hard hitting to begin with. So putting it on solar singe will make that more dangerous. Void singe, the Centurions with the solar shields have a void weapon. So if you put void singe on, then those guys will take you out relatively easily. So we chose arc singe, even though there are Cabal that have arc shotguns. So the arc shotguns will one-shot you if you do use arc singe, just so you're aware. Ad control is very important. Once you get up in power levels, it won't be as difficult. This is one of the original Destiny 2 Nightfalls, so you will be very familiar with the mechanics here, although it is a little bit more difficult because of the increase of power level and the recommended power level. Now, generally you have one person designated to run the orb. Someone like a hunter that can get to the area and dunk it, even if you get taken out while you're doing it. Now, once you dunk the orb, then the other two people have to stay alive. More ads spawn out. The boss is going to be out and he's going to be sniping. So it's something to be very, very aware of and very careful of. Once you're back to full strength, you can think about damaging the boss. As you damage the boss, more ads will come out. You will have to keep some ad control during the entire fight. And the boss will go directly for whoever is still alive. The boss does have an arc shotgun as well. So one shot from there, or maybe two, because he does fire relatively quickly. Now, if you're right up next to him, he does have a solar attack, making solar singe not a very good option if you were going to be right on top of them. So the new Titan solar subclass, not really a good choice if you're going to do solar singe. So if you're doing solar singe, make sure that you're using distance sub-skills. If you're using arc, you can use Arc Strider, you can use up close and personal attacks. It is very, very time consuming at lower light levels. Now as the weeks go on and you're able to increase your power level up to 540 and beyond, this will become easier and easier, where it is not as difficult. But getting the mechanics down now is important, because then it will help you out later on and just make it like second nature, so you can just go right through it and not think twice about it. There's a couple times here that we almost wiped out, that we were very close to wiping out, and the countdown actually started for the wipe, but someone's respawn came up at that time. Now, as I said, the boss will come after whoever is alive. He will not just stare at the ghost of one of your downed members. He will go for whoever is still standing. The other ads in the arena, they may stare at a ghost orb, or they may go for whoever's alive. Now, ad control is important. Make sure that you take out the Scion snipers. But as you're doing damage in this final damage phase, more ads will spawn. Now, if you use the Void Singe, the boss does not have a void attack, so you are safer in that respect. However, if you have someone using a hunter, you would have to use Shadow Blades. If you use the tether, tether doesn't really work as well with mobile bosses like this one. I mean, you can also employ the tractor cannon, which will do a decent amount of damage and make him more vulnerable to damage. So it'll make it a little bit easier if you do that. So Void Singe is certainly a very good option here. Like I said, we didn't do Void Singe, we did Arc Singe, just because of the setup that we had. But always, you have to try to keep an eye on where the boss is and be aware of where he's at. And remember that there is no safe place. There may be a safe place for a short amount of time, but it will quickly become unsafe. But that's it. Just keep whittling them down until you take them out. And like I said, once you get up to 540 and beyond for your power level, these types of Nightfalls won't be quite as challenging. They still will be challenging, but not as difficult as at the lower light levels. Well, make sure you ring the bell before you leave to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.